I think it's about time that we bring back licensed video games. And I'm not talking generic Farmville-style copy-paste games with a show's skin slapped on top. No, I mean a legitimate game that follows the characters of a popular animated show with actual passion behind the project. In the past, some of these licensed games have proven to be some of the most beloved games of all time. Look no further than SpongeBob Battle for Bikini Bottom.
Dude, you think this gave anybody like a diaper or a wedgie fetish as a kid?
You can see his balls, dude.
I grew up loving this game, and now it's been remastered and has multiple spin-off games following the hype of this one nostalgic classic.
And there are so many other games based off of animated movies and animated shows that ended up actually being good.
The Chicken Little game, Shrek 2, Simpsons Hit and Run, Scooby-Doo, 1,000 Frights, and more recently, the South Park games.
And you know what? I want more. There are so many animated shows out there now that would make great games.
So today I'm going to be talking about some of my favorite animated shows and why they deserve to have their own video games. First up is the Amazing Digital Circus. This show deserves the full SpongeBob Battle for Bikini Bottom treatment. It's just perfect for a fully realized 3D platformer style of game. I'm talking collectibles, Super Mario 64, Banjo-Kazooie, that sort of a game. And I'll link this down below, but there's actually a demo game that I'm sure if you're a Digital Circus fan, you might have heard of. It's got a few collectibles and like one kind of external level. It's clear that they put a lot of work into it, and I did pretty much everything you can do in about an hour, but it was still like a great concept, and it just sold me more on the idea of having a fully realized 3D platformer around this world. I think you could totally have a home hub of the Amazing Digital Circus where there's tons of collectibles and external missions outside of that and worlds to explore. Genuinely a lot like the Battle for Bikini Bottom game, where Bikini Bottom is like this hub world that has collectibles in it, but it's not really the focus, and then you leave to other areas in the world to explore more, and they're based off of areas in the actual show, like Goo Lagoon and Jellyfish Fields. I think that would be perfect for the Digital Circus. Maybe in the game there's a new adventure each day in the story, and you go on the adventure just like in the show. Maybe some of them are straight from the show, so maybe some of them are new and original. Each world could have its own kind of gimmick to it, which in this demo they actually kind of did that with collecting the, what do you call these, goobles? What are they called? Yeah, gloinks, where you collect the gloinks. I just think there's a lot of potential here, and this is probably my favorite of all the three ideas. But nonetheless, let's move on to my second game pitch, the Owl House. If you've watched the Owl House, you know it's high fantasy, witches and magic and all kinds of interesting quests, and kind of has a Harry Potter thing going on. I think the Owl House would make a great Zelda adventure game, a game with a lot of exploration, dungeons, optional side content, kind of like a Breath of the Wild almost. I also think there's a lot of fun ways that you could have character progression in this one. You could almost do like a Metroidvania kind of, as you play through the game, you unlock different glyphs that allow you to do different things that match up with the show and allow you to like traverse into areas that you wouldn't have been able to before. Maybe the first glyph you unlock is like the light glyph, and then that allows you to go into dungeons, and then eventually you go to a dungeon and unlock a different glyph that allows you to like climb things or whatever it is. I think there would be so much potential for a cool game about the Owl House. I think there's like a mobile game or like a browser game. It just looks like kind of a low effort game in comparison to what Owl House really could be. There's a lot of potential there. My third game idea is probably the most odd of all of them, but I really do think it would be fun. What if there was a Smiling Friends game that was a roguelike? Like Hades would probably be the closest thing. Think about it. Each run could be some mission assigned to the Smiling Friends team with randomized environments and bizarre enemies that change from run to run. You play as Charlie or Pim, And you can unlock different characters maybe that have different abilities to start with, like different attack styles, kind of like the different weapons in Hades. You make someone smile as a result of beating the boss. I could just imagine the first boss being like the first episode of the show with the little bliblies or whatever they're called. Maybe Desmond is there helping you fight them, and then after you beat them, you make him smile. I think there's a lot that you could do with like random power-ups and kind of like a Binding of Isaac kind of thing happening where the characters are weird, and as you get upgrades it like morphs your character into something kind of odd. I think that would mesh really well with the DNA of Smiling Friends, and that sounds fun to me, so that's what I would want. But moving on to my super secret extra bonus game idea based off an animated show, I'm gonna have to go with Arcane. Let me know what shows you think would make great games and what kind of game you'd want them to be. Just let me know that in the comments below, and that's all for now.